What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. I hope everybody's having a good day and ditching PPR Tyler over there on his weak ass show and jumping over here to a quality program, a family friendly program. We've got I've got Billy Jones on today. You're on mute, just so you know. If you go to talk, you're gonna get muted. But Billy Jones on. So we last episode we just went over some charts, courtesy Billy Jones. I shouted you out on that. Don't worry. Link in the description to Billy's Twitter. Highly recommend you go down there and follow Billy Jones. Big brain Billy Jones is what I call him. So joining me today, we're going to go over the charts again quickly because we just went over it. I want to get your take on kind of my view of the charts, and then we'll get into a few things. But Billy, how you doing, man? Yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute, dog.
I mute myself for the intro because I would hate to mess that up. But then, yeah, leave it on. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I think this is my first ever appearance on your show. No, second.
No,
we did one. We did one previously on stacking and such. But I'm excited to be here. I've been on vacation, haven't really been drafting, so this is like the perfect intro back in.
Yeah, you're going to get caught up on a whole lot of everything, I feel like. There's a bunch of news we got to catch up on for the day. A couple shout outs throughout, and then we'll finish it off. We'll rip a draft over here. We got Hartman. Hartman was live earlier today. Shout out. I think you must have wrapped up by now. Definitely a long episode for you, but shout out Hartman popping in. So let's start first things first. Let's talk about the charts because that's what I started off last episode on, talking about that. It was a pretty big hit with a lot of the people in the chat and after the fact. So this was kind of the original charts. So this information that we see kind of right here was all courtesy Billy Jones. The last again, it's advance rates and usage, BBMs 2, 3, 4, 5. We're obviously BBM 6. And then I kind of extrapolated on this info a little bit. So I obviously averaged out the 4 years of usage and then the 4 years of advance rate to just kind of figure out what works best and the directions that I want to go as far as building my BBMs for BBM 6. I just want to be super, super intentional with my Best Ball Mania entries and hopefully stick to a certain structure. So I kind of highlighted a few builds. In fairness, these builds that I have highlighted, it's basically leading me down a path to get to where I want to be after 10 rounds is kind of the way that I wanted to do it, because after 10 rounds, after round 10, number one, you basically know what your build's going to be already. 2, 5, 8, 3, 3, 5, 7, 3, whatever. You know what your build's going to be for the most part. So the important thing for me is getting through those 10 rounds, because that's really where you're building out your lineup. You literally have your lineup built completely, at least your starters. And then after that, you can kind of go where you need to go. So the green is basically builds that I think I know are good for advance rate. And then the yellows were kind of okay for advance rate, but they're going to lead me to a certain direction. So have you jumped into these again? I know you built these a long time ago, but have you got back into the charts and kind of narrowed it down in this type of way?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's interesting to like average it, because with the advance rate stuff, I think that definitely makes a lot of sense because of you're getting multiple usage. I'm like curious which like ADP environment we should pin this to. Like I'm kind of really thinking that the usage for this year is actually going to be mirror BBM4, because BBM5 pushed wide receiver 2 back, and now we're moving back a little bit. So it's like what do you average versus what do you kind of try to like use to get to the right point. But you nailed it on the head. There's certain builds which year over year have been like highly successful, high floor kind of things build. So if you kind of lean into the fundamentals plus a little bit of player takes, you're going to do really well.
Yeah, and what I was saying to the chat last episode was like, use this information for what you think will win this year. Because obviously, I don't give a shit what happened last year. I don't give a shit what happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. What's going to win this year? and what structure do I think is going to do well this year? Because BBM 5 and BBM 4 were like the tale of two completely different tournaments. Like literally you can see it right here and right here. That's that's the tale of two completely different tournaments that they're telling, right? So which one was right, which one was sorry, which one will be more right this year and which one will be more right or more wrong this year? Jesus. Um, so I'm using this information. I think you kind of alluded to it, at least you touched on it a little bit. I think that this year's BBM is going to revert back to BBM 4 type of a structure where not necessarily zero RB, but maybe like a hero RB build or even a dual, whatever, an anchor RB, whatever we want to call these different types of builds. One or two running backs through 6 rounds is, I think, going to be the sweet spot, and also has kind of been the past 2 seasons as well. So not only does it follow like historical, but it follows what I think will be predictable. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and it's like there's the clean build that you just kind of like stay aligned. You do the solid structure, and that's what like 1 or 2 running backs is. You're not over. I think with like the 0 running back and the 3 running back, what we'll call like robust running back, you're gonna have to be like very right in those situations. Whereas like the 1 or 2, I feel like it's just like a standard quality build.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then also what I was, maybe we'll go to the next slide. We'll go through 10 to talk more about that, but we do have like the common, the most common build structures through 6 rounds here on average. So 1, 2, 3, by far the most common, over 3% more common than other 2 running back builds. Which are definitely the most common ways to build. Obviously, elite tight end is going to be less common, so that's why it's so low as a two running back build. But everything else is pushing 10, if not 10. The average of these 4 2 running back builds is probably at least 10%, obviously, over the last 4 years. So it is the most common way to build. So maybe a 1 running back build is going to be, less owned, less common, that sort of a thing. So that's kind of another thing that I'm trying to pay attention to when I'm building. And then again, going through the 10 round stuff, this is where I wanted to be. Again, it's all directing. The 1 through 6 is directing me to where I want to be through 10 rounds. Because this is a lot more, I want to say, palatable. Correct me if I'm wrong. What are your thoughts on this? Like through 10 rounds, if we're building a 1-3-5-1, which I'm trying to avoid, I'm not going to avoid it. I'm obviously going to have some builds that are 1-3-5-1, but I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible because 20% of BBM teams are starting that way. If that's the case, 20% through 10 rounds, like there's got to be some duplicate entries through 10 rounds, I would think. It's like maybe not, but close. You know what I mean? Is that out of line to say? What would your thoughts be? Like 20% is exceptionally high.
Yeah, that's like, so 1 in every 5 drafters you're seeing.
Literally.
Yeah, so probably it's like 3 people per draft essentially doing that, or 2.5 or something. So it's like, yeah, it is very common. It's like the simple way to draft, which is
Oh,
that.
you glitched out there.
Oh no.
You're good. Like you said, the simple way to draft, and then
Yeah, and which means like it's not necessarily is wrong, but it just means there's going to be some obvious angles to attack against it, I think.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, how do we push that? So okay, some people get scared and want to get that tight end. Maybe we really comfortably push tight end later with that kind of build. I think is an easy way to attack something like this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, and what I was getting at through the 1, 2, 3 being the most common as well, right? 1, 2, 3 is most common through 6. 1, 3, 5, 1 most common through 10. In my opinion, it's just the most warm and fuzzy way to build your lineup, right? It just feels good. It feels nice. It's balanced. You got strength in each room. You're happy, but like as we see from the numbers, it is not the best way to even advance. I don't know what the numbers are for the winning teams or not, but chances are it's lower, considering it's not even that high of an advance rate. So like it's literally like probably not even in the top 5. So I really am trying to avoid that kind of at all costs. Again, I do it. I'm going to do it. I have done it. But every time I see it, I cringe a little bit, knowing that I'm sort of hurting my advance rate a little bit, but I'm also super, super calm into the field.
Yeah, and like the only way to do the 1-3-5-1 is you either to get the onesies. We'll just focus on them. You've either gotten 2 elite ones, and so double elite onesies is like a uphill battle, or you're like dipped into like this like mid tier onesies, which kind of works for quarterbacks, but and like not really good for tight ends. So it's like it's just not as it's like it's just a thinner build you're kind of working around rather than like I really love to push quarterback this year. I think that the 0-4-5-1 has been something I've been interested in a lot this year. And it's not even, I don't think it's listed on here. Oh no, it is down there, and it's that usage is so low, and it's just kind of leaning into quarterback a little bit later. That's definitely a 3 quarterback build, but I think it's viable for this current environment.
And in fairness, it's basically the exact same advance rate over the last 4 years as a 1-3-5-1. So again, yeah, you have to kind of differentiate I mean, I'm throwing this out 1-5-4-0. Like that's the best advance rate over the last 4 years, I'm just kind of throwing it out because I'm not building like that. I'm just really not. I might have last year, actually. I was probably part of this 23% because I thought that was a viable strategy last year. But my most common 2-4-4-0 is to me, the best advance rate structure on here. I'm pushing tight ends wherever I can. And I do agree with your quarterback take. I'm probably not taking an elite. Maybe it's like Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield or something like that. Like 2 quarterbacks within 8 to 10, the rounds 8 to 10 is kind of where I see there's a ton of value to me at quarterbacks rounds 8 through 12. That's where the quarterback value is to me. So if I get 2, I can fill out my running back and wide receiver rooms. So that's something I'm just trying to, whether it's 2-4-4-0, 1-3-6-0, either way, like what I kind of built over here is like, how can I get to where I want to go? So these are the structures that I like the most, like 1-5-4-0. That's, I think what you said was something you like.
Yeah, for sure.
Boom. Yeah, I do as well. So how can I get there? These are the starts that I can kind of, do through 6 rounds to get me to any of these options realistically. So that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on when I'm really like locked in drafting best ball manias. I try to get to one of these 3 starts through 6 rounds. And then that allows me to get to any of these starts through 10 rounds. So that's why, and realistically, I'm just like, it's 0 tight end for me. Like I'm not, I have like 15% Trey McBride and I have like 8% Bowers, which I'm probably going to do. That's fine. I'm not going to obviously, I'm obviously going to even out my portfolio, but I don't know. I'm just trying to focus when I can. When I'm not taking those elites, then this is the structure I'm getting to. And that's kind of period, end of story.
This is really well done. Like, I think it's like especially if you're like a newer drafter, like just kind of following these simple checkpoints and then it leading to like a positive advance rate historically. I love that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate. I mean, shout out you brought the charts. So I just kind of, like I said, extrapolated on it a little bit. So like I saw what initially when you put these charts out, I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, 1-3-5-1 is just the way. And I was like, what? That's actually the opposite of what I'm reading. Like that is like the worst way to build through 10 rounds kind of possible is the way I was seeing it. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but that's just the way I was seeing it, because you could end up with some maybe not duplicate exact, because it's very difficult to get duplicate teams through 10 rounds. I understand that, but pretty close. Like you could probably have at least 6 or 7 of the same players through 10 rounds quite easily with a good chunk, especially when we get those. And this is something we talked about when you were on, before, when I think that was the schedule release day, when we're talking about the chalk like starts. So look at the Bengals versus the Cardinals. Lines up at the one spot. You get, let's say, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, McBride, and then Burrow. That's already 4 right there that are all the same. And it's not like ADPs have shifted too much. So it's very easy to end up with like 6 or 7 of the same players as some other teams through 10 rounds, I think. So right there, it's kind of, and maybe that's just the chalk you need, but I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on the 1-3-5-1. I want to avoid it. So let's get into some news. What's up, chat? Appreciate you guys popping in. Let's clear this out. Wanted to go through it with Billy because he was on, and we just talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. But let's get into some news. We gotta get Billy back in the loop, being on vacation.
Let me restart my computer. My internet's so bad right now. I'll be back.
Okay. Okay. Billy's restarting the computer. We're gonna get him back in. What's up with the chat? Let's do a quick victory lap for Kyle Williams. Posted the video today. Yeah, big victory lap for your boy. Hope it's not Polk-esque smoke up your ass. I really do not think it is whatsoever. I actually didn't like Polk at all. I was shocked that he got second round draft capital. He did, cool. But Kyle Williams is the real deal. And he's getting nothing but positive, vibes, positive coach speak. And this is exactly what I said in that episode. And the clip that I posted earlier today was, I think that the number 1 wide receiver is going to start as the number 3 option, number 4 option, something like that, work his way in. Maybe an injury occurs. It's a perfect situation for Kyle Williams in New England. Let's say, Stephon Diggs gets hurt. He did put a chat in here. I should read the private chat. Let's say Stephon Diggs gets hurt, which I don't think anyone would be surprised. 9 months post ACL, 31-year-old wide receiver, right? Let's say he gets hurt. That's all it takes. Let's say that Kayshon Boutte is just not that good. That's all it takes, right? I don't think the Pop Douglas really plays into it. My take on Pop Douglas in the big board was he's the most safe wide receiver in that offense. And I think I'm right on that one too. He's the F, he's the slot receiver in that offense. And then everyone else kind of plays around him. Boutte, the reason he's getting so much love is because he's the X. And to be honest, like Kyle Williams isn't an X receiver. He's a Z guy. And so is Stephon Diggs. So really it's going to take either Stephon Diggs getting hurt or just being old or whatever. But this is kind of the exact scenario that I played out in the clip that I posted for why I think Kyle Williams is going to be a fantastic pick. And here we are. It's looking like it's coming to fruition. So, yeah, I know for a fact you heard it here first about Kyle Williams. So I'm taking a massive lap on that one, but we'll see how that works out long term. What are your thoughts about Kyle Williams, Billy?
I wish I had more. Sorry about that. When I logged in, I was like, oh no, like it was slow, and I was like, feel like I wasn't even able to respond to the first set half of the segment. So I was like, I just got to restart this. But we're better
All
now.
Good.
Yeah, my Kyle Williams exposure is not as high as I would like for it to be. I'm at weight. I actually am like 7%, so just slightly underweight. I get a big Stephon Diggs bag. I'm hoping that just in general, the Patriots are now significantly better. But I think it's time to get back on that train.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time to get back on the Kyle Williams train. It's always Kyle Williams for me. So yeah, time to get back on the train. But let's get into some news for you. I just took my victory lap. I spared you the victory lap with Kyle Williams. My bags are absolutely stuffed. They have been the whole time. I know for a fact I was the first one on him. Posted the video, posted the clip. You know, we're there. We're good. What are the chances Dig is just him for this year, goes for 1,200 and dozen touchdowns? I mean, I don't think that's exceptionally likely, but it's possible. Sure. I think that was kind of the pace he was on last year before he tore his ACL. But I don't know. What's so you're in on the Diggs, Billy? Hey.
Yeah, I like Diggs. I think that he has been an alpha before, and even if he isn't the same guy he was anymore, I think he's going to the locker room be that dude.
Yeah.
So he'll command targets just from him being on that persona. And if we just get some level of volume, I think you got like a wide receiver one on a team at a decent price. And then I love the kind of Drake May click. I love Trevion click. So kind of just like that whole ecosystem of the team I'm kind of in on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in on that team, obviously, with like Trevion Henderson was my running back one, and Kyle Williams has been my guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I automatically, I mean, we were doing I think we were live streaming at the time, and shout out Pat, who was on the stream. I was like, man, move over. I guess I'm a Pats fan now. Like, you know, I'm on the Pats bandwagon over here. I'm rooting for all of their players on offense. So yeah, Billy's setting the mood back there. You gotta set the mood. 18% took him into Bulldog. You got to pump up those rookie numbers, Steve. That's for sure. Let's get into a little bit of news stuff. Get you caught up, like I said, from your vacay here. I wanted to pull this up. Let's zoom in a little bit, or maybe I can click on it. So Justin Jefferson, little hamstring thing today. Went for an MRI pending, and this is so Deepak Chona, one of the kind of only Twitter doctors that I actually appreciate his opinion. There's not too many that I actually, there's a couple, out there that we don't need to mention, but Deepak Chona, I recommend you follow him. He's a good Twitter doctor. He's usually pretty good, breaks things down every week. So yeah, almost every day. But anyways, he's saying probably 2 to 4 weeks average return this time of year, and then real re-injury risk, which we know about soft tissue hamstring issues. Likely ready for week 1, yes. But and people are gonna probably like, yeah, this is kind of an out for me. I'm quite low on Justin Jefferson at cost. I do not have him as a top 4 player. I mean, I'll take him if he's there at 6. If he's there at 5, I'll probably get some exposure, but I'm not taking him top 4. So I'm very low on Justin Jefferson. But I mean, there's a little something right there. How are you looking on Justin Jefferson? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that, I haven't had the greatest luck at the top of the board. So this happened today.
Mm-hmm.
So how far, as I was looking at his ADP, he's only risen he opened at 4 and has incrementally moved up a little bit. And he settled at like 2.8 as like his high, I think, is 2.6. Was there one day. So where do you think this drops to? Do you think this goes down to below CeeDee Lamb, or Jahmyr Gibbs? Do you think
I think he certainly should, for sure. Is Bijan technically the number 2 right now?
No, so it's Jamar 1.1, Jefferson is 2.8, Bijan 3.0. So that'll flip pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and
so
then
definitely
he moved past Saquon at 4.4.
I mean, I think I had, like, for me, it's Bijan, it's Chase, Bijan, and CeeDee Lamb. That's my top 3, and then probably Gibbs, and then probably Jefferson, then Barkley. Probably Barkley flips Jefferson for sure for me. So I'm lower on Barkley and Jefferson personally in my exposure, in my portfolio. But for me, it's always been CeeDee Lamb over Justin Jefferson. Always, always, always. I'm not picking Justin Jefferson over. If CeeDee Lamb's on the board, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb, period. So I've you could say that I got lucky. That's an out for me, but that's always been my draft strategy for other reasons. And some people know my JJ McCarthy, take, and that's really what plays, a role in this and is the deciding factor. But do I think, I don't know, because it's a weird time of year right now for anybody to move when they have a name like Justin Jefferson, because all the casuals are starting to come in right now and they're just going to click that name. So I don't know. What would you think?
Yeah, if the take is really that he's not going to miss any time and is ready for week one, but with real re-injury risk, that's the line that scares us. Right? Like that. So I don't know. Like maybe a slow decline. As you said, like there's some of these up. Like I'm surprised. I think in general, the running backs are going to move up a little bit, but we'll see. This is interesting, processing it real time.
Yeah, and we've seen Jefferson get hamstring injuries in the past, so it's somewhat of a reoccurring theme now. Like once it kind of pops up, like T. Higgins is a hamstring guy, always kind of has been his whole career. So if you're expecting to get a full 17 games out of T. Higgins, you're probably going to be let down. I'm not saying that Justin Jefferson's in that same vein, but if it continues to pop up, then he might be. Like the problem will be if he tries to rush it and get back quick. That's obviously where the re-injury risk really plays a role. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. But does this move the needle for you as far as your rankings?
No, I do think it is like really annoying for like the connection. Maybe it does, because if it's really annoying for the connection of him and JJ McCarthy, then like the whole offense will be slower. To get cooking. So maybe I don't know. I haven't really processed that.
I would certainly now with this, I would put Christian McCaffrey ahead of Justin Jefferson in my rankings.
I love that. That's aggressive.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. So we'll see. That's the first bit. I just saw that, and I wanted to shout out Deepak Chona. He's a guy that everybody should probably follow on the Twitter machine if you're looking for doctor stuff. He's my kind of go-to. I don't really follow. I think he's the only Twitter doctor that I actually follow. And he follows me back. So shut up. Looks like we just got this. So this is news. I haven't even seen this. Mooney will miss most of camp per Zach Klein. Did you see anything about that by chance?
No, I know that he like got up gingerly. What does this mean? Like that's not good.
Don't think that's him.
Underdog retweet, so he's got an Underdog.
There we go. Has a shoulder injury and will miss most of training camp. League source tells me. Interesting. How are your bags of Mooney? I have fairly large bags.
I think I'm at like 12%. So
yeah,
not like egregious, but not where I want to be. That'll fall rather than being in a position of strength. Where does he go now is the question. So Mooney is 86.
Probably 82, something like that. 84.
Wide receiver 48. I'm gonna drop it there now.
I want to know what it is first. Like I want to know what it is. Like what is wrong with him? Like
this
shoulder
is pretty nondescript.
Yes. Most of training camp too. Like what is that? Is that 2 weeks? Is that 4 weeks? Like this still is not enough information. I want to know what the injury is before I get too deep, because he missed week 18 last year with a rotator cuff issue. So if that's the same thing, that's a concern. That's a massive concern. For re-injury, whatever. We know, like, look at Dalvin Cook, right? Throughout his career, dude couldn't keep his shoulder in the socket. Like he couldn't.
Yeah.
So if that's a similar thing with Mooney, like if he's having reoccurring issues with his shoulder and he just can't stay on the field, like that's a massive, massive red flag. So I don't know. I'm going to be more than hesitant to be drafting Darnell Mooney right now. Plus, my bags are packed already anyways, so I can correct my portfolio. So,
And there's been a little bit of, if I could be wrong on this, but Kyle Pitts steam or news, positive buzz, and this only means that that's going to happen more and more.
yeah, then it leads me to, and Steph said it in the chat here, like they did sign DJ Chark today, which really does nothing for me. So who is it that's going to, obviously there's Ray McLeod, and he was a more than viable click already, in my opinion, considering he's a 18th round guy, 600 yards. He only had the one touchdown, which is really what hurt his production. But he was more than a click already. So he moves up for sure. And then who else? And like you said, kind of Kyle Pitts, but then does that make Charlie Warner, who's a tight end on that team, does that make him a viable click? I don't know. I guess it depends on how you feel on the offense, but what would your direction be with the Falcons team in that game against the Rams? It's a massive game, Monday Night Football. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, because you can't really do much with the Bijan. Bijan's the first running back off the board. What are you going to raise him more? We already talked about that with Jefferson. It's going to happen. And like Drake London, I don't know, were you going to allocate more target share to him? He already kind of is a target share monster anyways when you put together projections. So, yeah, like who's the direct winner from this? Like, I don't know. It may be just like a little bit of a loser with Penix is like maybe connection because Darnell Mooney might walk out week one, not have done a ton of practice. I don't know. As you said, like this is a wait and see type of situation, but pretty disappointing for a Falcons offense, which we had hopes for maybe taking a step forward. I grew up in Atlanta, so like it's been like not great for several years. So I was kind of excited for them to be what looked like a decent offense, a decent team this year.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think Kyle Pitts definitely gets a little bit of a bump. But he's already getting that steam right now, like you kind of mentioned or alluded to. He's getting that steam. So it's going to happen regardless. I did want to give a little bit of a shout out. Sean Mitchell on Twitter, pretty good follow. He's putting out this daily kind of camp news breakdown, which is nice. It's kind of like a Coach Speak Index, Fantasy Football in 60 for Justin Herzig. He's putting this together on a daily basis, which has been really helpful. I like it. Worth a follow. Go hit up Sean Mitchell over there. So Justin Jefferson with the strained hammy, not good for sure. Cedric Tillman, lower leg calf injury as well today. So that's another big hit. I know a lot of people are drafting Tillman. I am. I'm confident you are as well. So that definitely.
Does that mean Deontay Johnson is now in play?
Not for me, but I mean, for some people, maybe. Some people. Have you been drafting Deontay Johnson? I haven't clicked him once, and I won't.
Yeah. No, but like I could see someone getting convinced to do that and thinking that that's a smart play. Be good.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that could make me click Deontay Johnson realistically, but unless he's like blowing it up in the preseason games and they have a somewhat ironed out quarterback situation, I don't know, but that definitely hurts. So that's more news that we kind of have to wait on. So the Mooney news, the Tillman news, and then there's the Najee. We can get the Najee conversation out of the way. You've talked about that, or you obviously know about that. We haven't talked about that, but with Najee, at least we know he still is living. That's good. We've seen him in person.
There's a picture, right? There was a picture.
Yeah. We've seen him. We know he's living, which is good. Sunglasses, that whole thing. I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, I want to see how superficial this is. Let's see his face. Like, I've been making the joke that he's like Michael Jackson's kids, like just face covered in public. No one can see him. It's a little weird how this whole thing is being handled. I don't know what to make of it. What are your thoughts about Najee, and what are your draft thoughts about Najee?
Well, so there's the first question I'm like, and I don't know if we'll get this answer, but like, what was he doing? So like, where did he have it on the ground and it intended to shoot it out and it shot back? Was he like looking over it and like lit it and did it immediately go off? please don't tell me he had it on his head or anything dumb like that. Like, I just want to know what happened. We will
Yeah.
probably never know. But
No.
then Omarion Hampton gets like mega boost because he's going to get all this like opportunity to get in, just completely injected into the offense. And Najee Harris, I guess, was supposedly the incumbent, right? Because he was the older, more mature guy, like has experience, but that's not really the case. He wasn't on the team last year, so like
Mhm.
I don't know. I think this is pretty problematic for him, um, just like from like an opportunity perspective. So that yeah, I don't know. I don't think you would want to be drafting Najee right now. That's
No,
my
I'm
take.
no, I'm good too. I mean, I have my bags packed just because there's history and someone I can't remember and I wish I could because I'd shout them out. But someone it was a big account actually. Someone on Twitter pointed out that rookies in Greg Roman's offense typically don't get a lot of run. They have
Mm-hmm.
never in his history of being an OC in the NFL. Young rookie running backs have never gotten a lot of run in his offenses, which was a kind of bull case for Najee Harris. I was definitely drafting Najee Harris regardless, just because again that rushing offense is just so potent. I want pieces. I wanted Hampton as well. I wanted both of them. But now after this, like my bags are packed enough. I need to slow down, and I want to know what's really going on here before I click his name again. Is kind of where I'm at. Same with Quinshon Judkins. I want to know what's going on. How many games is he gonna? He hasn't even signed a contract. Like I want to know things before I click his name again. Again, because my bags are packed. I was a big Judkins drafter, so yeah, it is what it is. So let's go through this and then let's get into a draft after this. They bring in DJ Chark. We saw that. Royals and Thornton continue to get some shine with the ones. I mean, I'm not reading too much into that. I don't know if you're putting any stock into Jalen Royals or Tyquan Thornton. Obviously, this is in preparation for them not having
Mm-hmm.
Rashee Rice for X amount of games. And then what would your take be on the Rashee Rice quickly since we're on it? Actually, let's do this first. Let's clear up the Chiefs. Elijah Mitchell, second running back after Pacheco, then Hunt, then Smith. Smith's getting some good run with the ones in a pass catching, which I think will kind of alleviate the Rashee Rice loss. So then I've been saying, I'll give you kind of my thoughts with Rashee Rice. If I'm the NFL, I throw the book at Rashee Rice. I suspend him for 8 to 12 games. I really make an example out of Rashee Rice, which you can do because this has never happened. Not like this. This has never happened. The only other example we have is Henry Ruggs, where someone was killed and he is in prison as we speak. So completely different kind of scenarios. There's no precedent for what happened. And I don't know if you've seen the video or not, but I'll let you take it from there after that. So that's what I would do if I'm the NFL. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. Doesn't mean I'm right. That doesn't mean that's how it's going to happen, obviously. But that's what I would do, considering there was red flags as far as Rashee Rice is concerned coming into the NFL in this type of a conversation. So I would send a message to Rashee Rice, the NFL players, incoming NFL players, send a message to NCAA players that haven't come into the league yet. We don't fuck around. This is unacceptable, and hit them where it hurts in the pocketbook. So that's what I would do. But what's your take on the Rashee Rice situation?
I mean, my personal stance on like getting behind the wheel of a car is you got to be sober, you got to be like sane, and that it's a very powerful machine. So I do agree with you in that sense. I'm curious as what the league is ultimately going to do. I mean, I hate to say it, they don't really seem to hit the Chiefs as hard as everyone else, or because Patrick Mahomes is the league darling. But from like an ADP perspective, what a wild ride for Rashee Rice. Starting out, opened the tournament 38, and it's just slowly trickled up as everyone is in agreement. He's healthy. He's going to be a great pick. He's going to just go back to his like high 20s target share, and then craters in the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of days. Quite literally, and since July 17th, so less than 8 days ago, he was at 21. And now he bottomed out at 37 and a half. Now he's currently at 34, but it's like, holy smokes, what a wild ride.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I personally, again, that was part of my take was like, this is always on the table. Like this thing was never going to go to trial, which like, I don't know why people were like, oh, there's not even a trial date set. We're fine and good. He's not going to be suspended. I don't give a shit. There's not going to be a trial. When have we ever seen an NFL player go to trial that wasn't like Henry Ruggs? You know what I mean? Like for something like this, or for like, we've never ever seen it go to trial. Even Jordan Addison recently, he pled guilty to whatever, basically a plea. He plead out. Same thing with Rashee Rice. He plead out. And of course he would. I'm not sure if you saw the video or not, but like, leaves the scene of the accident, fled the scene. There was rumors, I don't know how true this is, but there was rumors of guns, drugs in the vehicles. Who knows if that's true or not, but maybe it was. So that's why you plea out, so you don't have to, nothing gets looked at, right? Which of course, that's how it's going to go. You pay the victims. And the fact that no one got seriously injured, if not killed in this, is shocking to me. I don't know if you saw the video or not, but it's shocking. So
you don't run away from the crime if it's all good. Like, it's just an accident.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. That's why it was never going to go to trial, because if it goes to trial, all of that comes to light, right? So you plea out, you get a smack on the wrist is basically what he got. So the only ones that can really hurt him is the NFL, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I also one other comment before I feel like most of the analysis this summer was like, yeah, so we can analyze if he's going to be healthy or not, because that's within our scope. Like the legal stuff, just that's not my expertise. Right, which I do think we've now learned was a big component to note for Rashee Rice, but he had these two things to analyze, and like if he will or if he won't kind of thing. We just kind of like ignored the other half, even though it seemed to be the bigger picture, the bigger problem at the end.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I agree with that sentiment of the people that were analyzing it and saying those things. I get that. Like, we're not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the law, but I did know that there's not a chance in the world that this is going to go to a trial. There's no chance in any world that this goes to a trial and a jury, period. So this is always going to be on the table, where exactly what has played out plays out. So I was baking that into my price, and a lot of people clearly weren't. So, I have a few clicks. My average ADP on Rice is probably 38 or something for where he started the tournament, because I did take him a time or two at the 3-4 turn. You can pair him with Worthy, bring in Mahomes, you get that double stack, feels good. But as he rose, it was like, this is just madness to me. So anyways, there's that. Scatabo has great hands. Scatabo's looking good in camp. We got Joe Flacco with the ones, then Pickett. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. I think that the Browns just want someone to win the job. I think they want Pickett to win the job, really, is my thoughts. What's your take on the whole Browns quarterback situation?
I think the Browns just want to feel not embarrassed for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why they don't end up being Joe Flacco. And if that's the case, I mean, there'll be some fun fantasy games. It just, unfortunately, I don't think he gets to finish the season.
No. Yeah. No, they just want to give themselves the best shot to win, which is Joe Flacco for sure. And that would make for some fun, fantasy output for, the 5 games that we get it. But I would think they would want they want Pickett to take the job in camp and be better than Flacco. I think they would want that. He's younger. He theoretically could still be their franchise quarterback if he's better. So I think they want Kenny Pickett to be better than Joe Flacco. But if he's not, they're going to start Joe Flacco. So we'll see. I mean, I think the Colts want Anthony Richardson to win that job too. But is Daniel Jones just better? I mean, we'll see. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Then Tank Bigsby.
I saw that note. Just we'll skip down to like 2 more. The Anthony Richardson thing are we back in on Anthony Richardson? Is that the sentiment now?
I mean, going off of the
it doesn't have to be your sentiment, but like the whole market sentiment. Are we back in? It's like as a community.
It is. If you have the ADPs pulled up, he's risen way back above Daniel Jones now. So the market is back in on Anthony Richardson for sure. My own sentiment, like I don't want to be that uncomfortable at quarterback in best ball manias. I'll draft him in puppies and some other stuff, poodles. Maybe I'll take some swings on Anthony Richardson, but in best ball mania, I'm not taking Anthony Richardson. I'm just not, because I think regardless, he doesn't play the full season.
Interesting.
What's he risen since? I don't know, a week ago,
So
maybe.
yeah, 30-day he's up 12, 7-day he's up 4, but he was floating in like the 170s, bottomed out, and like early June, and then the last like 2.5 weeks he started to have a little bit of an incline.
That makes
Specifically
sense.
the last week.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because he's at camp, he's throwing. He actually looked really good today. I did see some clips. He did actually had some good throws. He did look good. But I mean, personally, I'm not drafting him in Best Ball Mania. Personally, I just don't want to. I do not want to be that uncomfortable at quarterback. So, yeah. Spencer Rattler doesn't record an incompletion. It sounds like Jake Haener ran with the ones. Shuck's getting some run with the ones. Would you draft any Saints quarterbacks?
No, but that does sound like that they're going to be a little bit more competent at quarterback in general. So, like, while I don't want to, and I'm not really, I like to like have quarterback, as you said, kind of buttoned up and not feel. You don't have to feel weak at quarterback. So like that's not like don't really try to get to it, but I can feel a little bit more confident in a Kamara or like Olave if this is the case, and they seem to have a couple competent guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty out on that offense. Besides, I do like Olave and I do like Juwan Johnson at the end of drafts. But beyond that, like a little bit of Kamara, but not. I'll probably be 6 to 8, like just below the field on Kamara. But I'm not drafting any of these quarterbacks. I'm not drafting Shuck. I'm not drafting Rattler and Haener. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty leery. I just think it's almost a certainty that the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL. I think defensively, they're absolutely going to struggle horribly. And this offense is not going to be able to keep up. And the more that you ask these quarterbacks to take over games and win games, I just do not think that that's going to be a good recipe. I don't know. I think the Saints are in for a rough season. Like we know from evidence last year that Rattler and Haener can't do it. Can Shuck? I highly doubt it that rookie Tyler Shuck just waltzes into the NFL and just becomes a stud. I highly doubt that. So that's where I'm at with the Saints. But I don't know if there's anything else you want to chat about on here. If not, we'll jump into a draft. I don't want to be on here all night with you, taking up all your time.
Yeah, let's just get into a draft. We can cover up names as they come up.
Yeah, let's jump in. We're gonna rip Best Ball Mania since we're talking about it.
So they're doing a little promo this weekend, and I like it. And it's more than rake. You get rake plus some back if you do just 2 drafts. So
essentially, yeah. Like I kind of wish I knew that. Like I literally did 3 last night, so I kind of wish I knew that last night. That'd have been nice. But we're gonna jump into a 20-second. BBM, if you want to jump in the chat, we're waiting on 9, so we got tons. So yeah, I was pretty annoyed when I saw that today because I was like, I kind of want to be at 75 drafts, 50% roughly right around now, which is literally exactly where I'm at. So that's cool. That Underdog kind of just did me dirty on that.
What else have you been drafting? They've been dropping a couple new contests. You've been interested in any of those?
I'll jump over. We're waiting on 6. Let's jump in what's open. I'm skipping the rest of these German Shepherds. I maxed the German Shepherd 1, but these are filling up in a day, and I'm not doing any more slows right now. I just I've got some vacation. I've got a wedding next weekend. I've got a golf tournament. Like I can't be in slow draft hell for the rest of my life. So I'm not doing these German Shepherds. Plus, I'm not trying to sound like a snob, but it's only 10K up top, so I don't necessarily need this in my portfolio. I am going to draft this Bulldog. So 2 entries, 3 of 12, 2 of 6, which is juicy. 1 of 4, and then a 31 seat final, 20K up top. I'm much more like inclined to draft that than, and that's a really nice structure. That's a really nice structure.
How much did you say is up top? 20K?
20K up top.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like 3 of 12, 2 of 6 in the second round, 1 of 3. That's really nice. And then 1 of 4 in a 31 seat final. Like, I like those. I really, really, really like these types of tournaments because you don't have to be even close to perfect to make all the money, sort of thing, and to advance, right? So I really, really like these structures. I'll be getting my 2 Bulldogs in. This mini golden I'm not doing. $2 entry, winner takes all, 20K up top. Like, it's just a literal scratch off ticket. So I'm not doing that personally.
That's not the kind of drafting that I like to do, or in terms of contest selection. The only drawback with the Bulldog, as you said, the structure is beautiful, has enough juice there to actually have some good money up top. It's 1,400, it's 1,500 contestants. Like, that thing gets filled in a night. It's so annoying.
Yeah. But it's only 2 entries, so at least it's not like a 20 max, right? Or like even a 5. So I'll probably do my 2 entries after we stream tonight. I'll do them. So at least it's like, palatable. It's not like you're sitting there. Like, again, the 20 max German Shepherd that fills in a day. Like, I can't do that without doing slows, period. So it's not for me. It's really just not for me. I don't think we have anybody in the chat in the draft. If you are, let me know. But I think we're going to get maybe a little bit of EV in this draft, which is nice. How long has it been since you drafted if you're on vacation?
So on vacation, I've been doing a little bit of the BestBall because it's literally half the time because it's only 6 people versus 12.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing a little bit of drafting in that sense, but that is like an entirely different strategy because of, I don't know if you've dabbled with that at all, because you kind of cut off at like all viable players. So you have, building out leverage is an interesting way to kind of make that happen. But we're on the clock, so I don't want to distract.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Who do you like here? I mean, Neighbors is a pretty nice click, 2 picks past ADP. Like, I'm 16%, which is fine.
I think we take Neighbors, right? I think we're going to follow the Sean Mitchell's news blurb. It says it's Neighbors season. I actually do think Neighbors. So the one drawback would be maybe the Giants aren't that good, but they weren't that good last year, and he was great. So if that's his floor, then there's only so much. We got so much potential on that. Neighbors Genty isn't bad, but I could also see BTJ as interesting.
That feels all right. I mean, I'm actually Drake London over Brian Thomas. Like, just in a vacuum period, I have them ranked higher, but I don't mind doing this Neighbors Genty thing. I think I only have that matchup like one time. I do, it's actually relatively difficult to get. So it's somewhat unique, and it is that week 17 correlation, obviously. And if I'm gonna be probably below the field on Genty. I think I'm right at the field right now. Then I'm going to take him in these types of situations when I have Neighbors as well. So,
I mean, it is perfect correlation in terms of week 17. So that's great. Do you think that this next wave of drafters is going to push down Genty, or is he going to be someone that's going to catch some steam?
It's really hard. That's a really good question. It's really hard to say. How many running backs historically go first round? You know what I mean? That's what I would look at, because we've already got 4 entrenched, no question. And then HN's definitely pushing. And a lot of these casuals that you're kind of alluding to will pull up Derrick Henry as well. So I don't think he's up.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So I drafted a team with one of my friends. It was an $8. I forget which one it was, which one of the tournaments, and it's the Dachshund.
Yeah.
And so I drafted with one of my buddies who does not best ball. I just like texted him. I'm like, we're on the clock. Who do you want? We're on the clock. Who do you want? And it is wild. His takes are how different they are.
Yeah.
He wants age. He wants players that have done it before. Like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, in his mind, Ashton Genty's like a third-round pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So that's a case in point. Like, I do not think that Genty, I think Henry has a better shot at like entrenching himself as a first rounder than Genty. I'll say that. Not that that's my take at all, because it's absolutely not, obviously. But I think, like, as the casuals, like you're kind of alluding to there, as they come in, that's who they're gonna steer towards, is Derrick Henry, not Ashton Genty. So I think, I don't know, maybe that means this gets more common, Neighbors Genty. But as we sit right now, almost 50% through the tournament, it's not like, it is common, but it's not the most common, pairing out there, I would say. So
is this what we see from Amari and Hampton now? Is like a early to mid third round.
yeah, more or less. Like, you'd be lucky to get him at the 3-4 turn where he was going, or even, he was going kind of mid fourth before, I believe, like 42 roughly, kind of before the Najee news. And now he's mid third round. You'd be lucky to get him at the turn here. So it kind of is what it is. We could go Lamar here. I don't mind doing that when we have this baked in, week 17 matchup.
Yeah, let's do Lamar.
I think that's really like the click here, realistically. Yeah, let's go Lamar. I like to feel comfortable like with a quarterback like Lamar when I have Neighbors and Genty. Who do you like here? I don't mind Kittle.
So I like Kittle because it gives us like this that's Genty hitting and Bowers not hitting, and we're getting Kittle off of that. The only thing is we're then going to be tight at wide receiver, but let's do Kittle.
Yeah, I think we can catch up, and then we're just locked in at stopping at 2 of each, though, which I love to do. Especially, I mean, here's a question for you. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to the Twitter streets on this, but 3 quarterback has been all the rage, this draft cycle, this draft season so far. People are just drafting naked third quarterback, whatever, forcing in 3 quarterbacks, that sort of a thing. So it's just been all the rage. I personally am, when everybody else is zigging, I try to zag over here. So I'm trying to stop at any time I possibly can, stop at 2 quarterbacks and stop at 2 tight ends. My take on that is that it allows you to put up the highest potential weekly output when you only have the 2 tight ends and you have the 2 quarterbacks. What's your take?
No, I completely agree. I actually, so Hayden Wicks put this chart out that was like, it's kind of not the easiest to read, but it was like that 3 quarterbacks at the end of the draft was best, but also on there was a spike to where elite quarterback through a certain point was even better than 3. So it's like, they kind of told like 2 different stories from the same chart. I think that if you draft a top 5 quarterback, so Burrow and up, so Burrow, Hurts, Daniels, Jackson, and Josh Allen, and you go 3 quarterbacks, that is dumb. Personally,
I agree.
Even if they're super late, like it's hard to, the data that I've summarized is hard to like put it into like a quality visualization, but like the number of times that quarterbacks hit when you have a true elite quarterback hit your lineup is so low, and even when they are hitting your lineup, you're only getting like 3, 4, 5 points max because the floor on a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts is so high that like you just don't need to do it. So I can get behind a 3 quarterback builds if you're pushing it later or in those like the sweet spot rounds. But I've seen many teams with the elite quarterback with 2 mid or late quarterbacks on it. I'm just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you agree, because I've been like, it's the meme of swords to the neck, like everybody's coming after me, and I'm like, guys, like it doesn't make sense. These quarterbacks are never going to hit your lineup. Then the counterpoint then becomes, yeah, but what about an injury in the playoffs? That's always it's always I don't want to have a 0 in the playoffs when I get there. Blah blah blah. We'll come back to that after we make a pick here. What do you think? Jennings could be a quality click here.
Jennings or Ridley. The only reason I like Ridley is because if we're looking to look at a late quarterback, you can set up that Titan stack. Yeah,
we could go.
So I would go Ridley.
Let's go Ridley. Let's take Ridley here. I don't love Genty, but I still don't think running back is, well, I mean, Henderson could be fun with the Baltimore, and it kind of plays off of, Genty should be that feed him the ball, and Henderson's the spike week type of a guy. I'm kind of okay with any of this, really. What are your thoughts?
I've been drafting on this year, so I would go him personally.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good. Yeah. That's all I needed. I mean, again, I had him as my running back 1 over Ashton Genty, literally, and I'm fine with that take. So yeah, you don't really need to sell me too hard on Henderson. But back to the quarterback to wrap that up. Let's put a bow on it. The injury in the playoffs sort of thing. It's like, number one, why are we playing for that? And when you get to the playoffs, what do we want out of our weeks 15, 16, 17? Sorry. Yeah. 15, 16, 17. We want the highest possible output per week. What's going to give you that? More shots at wide receiver and running back. It's not having a dead spot at your quarterback position, right?
Especially if it's like an elite guy. Like,
yeah.
Are you really trying to say that your 3rd or 4th or 5th round pick is just completely toast in the finals and you're okay with that? And you're building for that. And so you have this, they were so common and they so necessary that they got so many people there and they're all dead and you're not because of that. Like, I just don't know. I don't really think that you see that level of finals ownership. Like, what's the word? Condensing? Whatever. I mean, I don't think the ownership condenses to that level in the finals. Wrong order of operations on that sentence.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree fully. Like, and there's these types of sentiments, like Jalen Hurts hasn't been available in the playoffs, and then week 17 they throttle down, stuff like that. They get nicked up, they sit out. Yeah, but we're trying to think that we can predict those things. Like, I just think, like, considering the volatility, and everybody knows how volatile the NFL is, yet we're willing to say things like this. And I'm not trying to like go at you, Terrence, here. That's for sure. I'm just saying, like, those are the comments that get made, but it's also like, we cannot predict this thing. And especially if we're talking like, I can see more where you're getting at here with the Jalen Hurts thing, because the NFC is much weaker than the AFC. But if we're looking at the AFC quarterbacks, number one, a lot of them are in here. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, you could argue, right? All AFC quarterbacks. All these teams are feeding off each other. Like, it's not going to be that easy to sit guys out for the last 2 weeks of the season, because they're all fighting for playoff spots. They're all playing for seeding. They're all playing for the number 1 seed, right? So I mean, you could have that conversation with me about Jalen Hurts, because he has that history, and again, the potential of shutting him down. But with the AFC guys, I think it's just a tougher sell. Golden would have been an instant
faster. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Golden's been my guy this year, so that's disappointing. We're definitely not drafting Mooney.
Yeah, we can go either of these directions. I'm good with either of these two.
Yeah, let's do Pearsall. Just maybe we can get Cole.
Pearsall looked really good today. Coming
so
off.
Was he back? Like,
yeah, he's back. He's okay. Yeah. It was never really a concern. We can go either. Yeah, I'm good with Downs. I'm always good with Mason personally. I don't mind Higgins here. Could make some sense.
I like Downs. I just feel like there's always ways to build in volume and opportunity on running back in some way, but like that just doesn't exist at wide receiver. So like that's why I wouldn't go Mason there.
No, I'm
Um,
good with that. Would we have the two? I'm good with that.
yeah, like
So
I think
does
there's always ways to find like touches at running back.
yeah. I actually I didn't even really notice this, but we're looking really good with this correlation. We've got Ridley playing our San Francisco, and then Downs playing our San
Mhm.
Francisco. I actually didn't even look at that because I'm smart like that. But
Yeah,
that's
and if
really
we and I mean like the I don't want to overspend at quarterback, but if Purdy falls into our lap, which I think it would be like a little bit after ADP, what's he at right now?
it's a couple clicks. I think it would be 5 maybe spots, but it's pretty live because the Jennings drafter is here
Yeah.
beside us. So it's pretty live. And I think if Purdy's there, that's an auto click realistically.
Yeah, because that would be pretty interesting to go Lamar Purdy. You're building 49ers, Ravens. Like those are two great teams historically. So like I would love to build on good offenses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've literally been, I guess the Ayuk drafter is here and he doesn't have a quarterback. So that would hurt my feelings. But I've literally been trying to get more Purdy in my exposure. I think I'm only like 2.9%. That's not on purpose. Where is Purdy? There. Yeah, 2.7. So 2 times over my, 75. And that's certainly not on purpose. It's just it hasn't really worked out for me. And every time I try to make it happen, it just doesn't work. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Fingers crossed on this one because I think that would be
Ooh, that's a
insane.
really high Tucker Craft. Is he now going in the ninth round, or is that someone really pulling him up?
No, that's really pulling him up. He's going 120 something. Um, so he's this guy's definitely really pulling him up. Yeah, ADP 122 essentially. 23 picks ahead of ADP. That's aggressive to say the least. So
This
this
guy's
is
just doing his thing, though.
well, this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. When we open the show, like you got to feel nice, warm, and fuzzy inside, right? Like let's get the unstacked. I guess he has Pacheco, sure, but like let's get Patrick Mahomes, let's get Tucker Kraft, let's fill out our roster and feel nice and warm and fuzzy about our team. That's just a classic kind of mistake in my opinion. Like I don't know. That's my take on what happened here and why it's Tucker Kraft. I guess if he's just your guy, he's your guy. But to take him over Mark Andrews, I mean, there goes Purdy. I knew it. Yeah, to the McCaffrey drafter. So it just never works out for me. Right at
Yeah,
ADP, it is what it is.
it is what it is.
What do we want to do here? Definitely not Judkins. We could go Warren here. We could
I like
definitely go.
I like Andrews.
Yeah, we could definitely go Andrews. Warren's gone.
Oh, he just went. I like
So
Andrews.
let's take Andrews. I mean, Trey Harris would be all right if he falls to us there. We could also take our second quarterback. I don't even hate taking Drake May here. Scadaboo's there. I'm not drafting Rashid Shaheed personally at all. Bateman we could take as well. Where are you looking here?
I mean, I don't, I don't know. This guy's probably not watching, or I hope he is. But I like Bateman, right? Because it's a Lamar double stack where you're doing it from like the cheaper way rather than Zay Flowers. It actually seems to be the guys who are the passing touchdown getters in that offense.
Yeah.
Um, you're done at tight end for sure.
Oh yeah.
You're telling me that you got a Kittle Andrews tight end room last year. That's pretty, or 2 years ago. That's very expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
I kind of do too. I'm happy to stop at 2, and we're 1-2-5-2, a little bit unique in our 10 round start. I like that. And to be honest, like it's not the end of the world that we didn't get Purdy because we still have these bring back pieces in week 15 and 16. So that game still can go off and we can still be right.
And what the narrative we're building here is Lamar is awesome in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
then there's also some, and he's going to cover Purdy, but the 49ers are going to push, and we have the other sides of those games as well.
Mhm.
So all the way this team triangulated has been great, and we haven't really even been trying to push that too hard.
No, exactly. Exactly. I'm really happy with how that worked out, actually. I might actually think about these types of builds and try this kind of exactly again and try to see if I can get Purdy to fall to me at 107. Because that's some real fun correlation that we really didn't plan for. We're kind of correlated to the tits a little bit, and I'm really happy about it. This is a really fun team through 10 rounds.
And there's a couple ways to do the same exact triangulation. So you have the Titans with Calvin Ridley, but say you don't want to do it with Calvin Ridley, you do it with Pollard, you do it with Spears.
Mm-hmm.
With the
Exactly.
with the Colts, you can do it with Downs, Pittman, or Tyler Warren, who I'm growing increasingly interested in if that passing offense is going to be functional.
Yeah.
So like I think there's a couple ways to build this and that the 49ers defense is not good and they need to score a lot of points narrative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that their secondary is going to be a little bit weak, the 49ers, and they invested in the on the defensive side in the draft, but it was almost exclusively on the defensive line. So, yeah, they might be tougher to run against, but they should be relatively easy to pass against, which again plays to our, what you just said, Ridley, Downs, Warren, even Pollard and Spears to a point, you could throw them in there. Okonkwo, right? Who's a guy that I'm trying to pick off a few more shares of as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this team's shaping up here. We do want to find another quarterback at some point. What do you like here? We're done at tight end, no questions. So we can get rid of that. It's kind of an odd spot.
Yeah, like my natural thought is to pivot back to running back at some point, but we could also. Do you like Marvin Mims? Tell me your opinion on Mims.
Let's start it. I mean, we saw the potential there. Let's talk about this pick first, and then what do you like here? I mean, I don't mind pulling up a running back if we're looking down here.
What's the Dylan Sampson situation now in draft rows?
Well, he's moving up the board. He could definitely be a click. I'm okay with clicking him, getting a few more shares. I'm only at about 5%, so we can bring him in here. He's definitely moving up the board. He theoretically should be like the long-term answer. Jerome Ford's not in camp quite yet. He's sitting out right now. So in theory, Dylan Sampson's getting everything, which is great for him as a rookie running back. And then with the whole Quinshon thing, like let's say Quinshon doesn't come in until week 7, right? Let's say he misses the 6 games, which has been pretty typical for, people in his situation, which is unfortunate. But regardless, if Dylan Sampson has kind of been getting the run for the first 6 weeks, and Jerome Ford took a massive pay cut, he hasn't exactly been the picture of health, including as we speak. So again, if Dylan Sampson can kind of entrench himself in there, it might be tough to get that job away from him. He's more of a pass catching back than Judkins anyways, and we all expect the Browns to be a god awful team. So, and immobile Joe Flacco, I would expect Sampson to get some catches. Yeah, I'm okay with clicking him there, getting some more exposure. But my Mims thing is like, everybody's like, yeah, his target, what's his average depth of target, like 2.4 yards or something like that. But that didn't stop him from scoring 30 points the last 2 weeks. It mattered in the playoffs last year. He literally was the guy you needed last year. So I don't know. I'm okay with taking some shots on Marvin Mims. I don't want to be over the field, that's for sure. And I'm not currently. I'm at about 6%, and that's probably where I'll stay. But realistically, like, who else do you click in this range? It's probably Kyle Williams, but I don't necessarily want to stack Kyle Williams with Trevion Henderson.
Yeah. So a question I have for you is we have 2 different 3 quarterback builds up right now. What are your thoughts on the 2 of them in the second the 2 and 3 hole. Like, are those
I mean,
overspends? Is that fine in your book? Like, in general, you're just saying not the 3 quarterback builds in total.
I'm saying no, but I'm also saying like we don't have to. I really don't care about correlation. Like I'm
So I
okay to
want
take.
Cam. So while we're on the clock, I do want Cam Ward. I do, if we you think we can get it on the way back, then we can go with someone else.
Um, Geez, let's get a name in here. No, let's go.
Running back.
Yeah, nice. We got him.
Nice.
So we got Eckler. Cool. That helps. I really don't want to draft Cam Ward, but I'm okay with it.
Who else would you
Like,
do? Gino.
I would
I'm
literally,
just
yeah,
thinking.
take like naked Penix or naked Gino with Gino with Genty, you know? Like I just
Why?
do not believe in rookie quarterbacks this year at all.
You think that this wasn't just a particularly bad class, and he was boosted because of that?
Yeah. And like yes, and the Titans aren't exactly going to be lighting the world on fire regardless. They do have a good enough defense to stay in game, so I think they're going to run the shit out of the ball. Considering what they did in the offensive line too, it kind of leans into that. Like I'm literally okay to take naked Penix or Gino. I'm fine with too. So what would you?
My stacking brain would say Gino, just because we have Genty, and that's
Yeah,
that. But then
I'm
I
fine
don't
with
know.
that. I'm fine with that. Let's do
See
that.
that?
Let's.
Yeah. See, like, cause I would have gone Cam Ward, not like
I
thought
know.
about it. I understand because what you're saying. Part of it is that we already do have Calvin Ridley, so we're hoping that Cam Ward isn't atrocious. Um, so that bet's already been cooked. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I hear that, I see that, but I think like it doesn't necessarily just because we are okay with a wide receiver and like yeah, just because we're okay with a wide receiver doesn't mean that the quarterback can or will hit. Like I just genuinely think like this is what we're gonna see out of a rookie Cam Ward, like Trevor Lawrence's rookie season.
Interesting.
Like maybe not as many interceptions, but like I just don't think I just don't think that you're gonna need Cam Ward in any way, shape, or form as a rookie. Like that, a bad Cam Ward can be bad, and Calvin Ridley's can still have 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns, like 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Cam Ward can still be awful.
That's interesting. So I've used Trevor Lawrence's rookie year as rationale to why Caleb Williams can be infinitely better this year than what he was last year. It's like his T-Law year 1 to year 2. I haven't thought about what like his year 1 is like as a rookie, just because like out of sight, out of mind. It was that disappointing, but that was a great like comparison.
But Caleb was actually quite good as a rookie. He was 20
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like he was actually quite good. He gets a
Mm-hmm.
bad rap. Like that was part of I went on a rant in the big board season about Caleb, and he literally is my highest dollar value is to Caleb Williams, which is wild because he's a quarterback and it's not a running back wide receiver. He's my highest dollar amount, exposure in the big board season. Caleb Williams. So I'm very, very high on Caleb. I'm very high on the Bears personally. Um, and yeah, he like I agree with what you said about how much better he can be in year 2, but he was already quite good as a rookie. So it's like if he's even better in year 2 or takes a similar leap, then he's borderline a Pro Bowler. Not even borderline, like he probably would be a Pro Bowler given how cheap Pro Bowls are. But
Yeah, I really hope so. He is my most drafted quarterback. Goes Caleb Williams, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence. I'm really hoping that I'm just kind of buying into better offensive, there's better coaches this year than last year with these talented players.
Yeah, I'm in on that. Do we want to go with like a Jalen Noel or Braylon Allen's getting some steam right now? I don't hate that.
Yeah, I like Braylon
Um,
Allen. Did I also hear that Will Shipley may not be the running back too? Is that Jay Dillon? Is he alive again?
it sounds like he is. Like, we'll make this other pick, and then I do have a little something that I mean I mentioned it on the stream, but who do you like here? We could definitely wide receiver looks good. I actually don't mind Jalen McMillan at all here.
Yeah, let's do it. I like that.
Like I am very wow, way past ADP. That's
Yeah, it's a
crazy
great
that he's
price.
still here. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm pretty in on Jalen McMillan at his current cost, especially if I can get a massive discount. Geez, I'll take it. But with Shipley, what I wanted to say is like, yeah, not only may he not be the RB2, but like people were just pushing him up the board and drafting him as the RB2, thinking that he has all this, untapped juice and everything like that. Like the dude literally did absolutely nothing the entire season last year with getting some run. And then he had one run in the playoffs when they were blowing out the Commanders. He had like a 50 something 60-yard run, one run in the playoffs. And everyone's just saying Shipley's the guy. If you're out on Barkley, you got to be in on Shipley. But I don't know. I think Dylan could definitely walk in there and be the RB2. And like, even if Barkley goes down, are we really thinking that Shipley is going to get all of the work? What are your
No,
thoughts?
I mean, like, no, I think that AJ Dillon makes a ton of sense. He's a big farm simulator boy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just a farm boy. But that is always one of my favorite memories. Like that whole clip with him being on the farm simulator way into the way late hours of the night. But yeah, no, like I don't think that there would be like a there's no replacing Saquon. I think that
No.
that's what is the absolute truth.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I have one click in Best Ball Mania of Will Shipley. I don't necessarily want to be a zero. Because if something should happen to Barkley, if I'm low on Barkley, then I have to be high on somebody else. And I'm not. I'm pretty low on AJ Brown as well. So the Eagles are going to be a good team again. If I'm out on Barkley, if I'm out on Brown, at cost, theoretically, I'm not going to be zeros on either, but I'm definitely lower than the field. Then, theoretically, I have to be higher on somebody. And, it's Devonta Smith a little bit, but I don't know. That's kind of just like the game theory of it. What do you want to do
Structure
here?
wise, where are we going to land? So
2682, 2682, I think
nice.
works. That's my favorite type of build personally. I think it's the highest ceiling build that you can do. What do you think about Marshawn Lloyd? We have the running back, bring back against our Baltimore, and then we could do another with Green Bay.
No, that'd be great. I think that works well. Do you think that Justice Hill is? This is the different point. I think Marshawn Lloyd is the right pick. Is Justice Hill like the same thing as a Will Shipley, or is it a different kind of situation for him as a running back too?
No, I think he is. I think he's the same as Shipley. Like I've been picking off a few shares of Keaton Mitchell for a couple reasons. Let's finish this last click. Who do you like here? I like a variety of guys. I really like Elijah Moore down here a lot. I like I don't mind Yoshi Voss. We could even do Thornton. I haven't clicked him yet. We could do Ray McLeod.
So not Yoshivas. Let's pick. Let's do Ray McLeod.
I don't mind that. I only have 4%. Yeah.
News centric as well. So I think that Sean Mitchell's notes, right? I think one of the potentially like scariest picks on the board is Andre Yoshivas. He's a player who's not 100% drafted, but very highly drafted, and I don't think he has got that third wide receiver locked in. Jermaine Burton could take that. He's very talented. Kind of seems to be a dunce, but very talented. And if he seems to get his act together, Yoshivas has never been like a standout. So like I think that's it's not even that exciting of a role to be like the third or fourth option on a team. And if he loses that job, it would be like really unfortunate click because I think he early is just kind of boosted by projectable volume if that's a thing at receiver.
Well, my pushback with the Yoshivas thing, like I don't think he's a starter. I don't. He's not the slot guy. To be honest, they don't have a slot guy. It's Chase for the most part. Like he does a similar like CeeDee Lamb thing. They move him inside out. They do everything with Chase, right? But other than that, they do not have a slot guy. and that's what they need. So I want them to sign Keenan Allen realistically, but that's another conversation. So Yoshi Voss is the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase kind of backup. And I think that's a relatively lucrative place to be. And he's throughout his career, like the production's been there. He catches a touchdown 1 every 10 passes. So I like that. Give me the touchdown upside guy. And Burton just hasn't earned my trust personally, let alone the teams, let alone the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like he just hasn't earned it. I'm not clicking Jermaine Burton personally. Not that that makes me right or wrong, but I'm just not doing it. And Yoshi Voss, like I'm not under any illusions that he's the number 3 on the team, or he'll even be out there in 11 personnel, because I don't necessarily think he will, unless Chase is in the slot for that set. Then maybe. But I know that T. Higgins misses games, and if something should happen to Jamar Chase, which God help me, doesn't happen. but if something should happen to either of them, then Yoshi Voss moves into a starting role. And to me, it's always like the T. Higgins bet, because he's shown throughout his entire career that he has soft tissue issues and he misses games. So if that should happen in week 17, and on the potentially the highest powered offense in the NFL, like give me the wide receiver 4, right? Like we're drafting the wide receiver 4 on Denver in the same spot as the wide receiver 4 on Cincinnati. Troy Franklin versus Yoshi Voss, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't disagree in general. I just
same thing with Houston. Same thing with Houston. Carolina. Yeah. We're actually like the Carolina Panthers wide receivers are getting drafted more frequently than the Cincinnati Bengals 4th wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So those are the types of, Indianapolis, the list goes on, Jacksonville, right? Like the list goes on and on and on of like examples of why I think Yoshi Voss is a great click at cost, right? In the 18th round. I just think like he fills a couple of buckets for why I draft him. Number one, he's actually a relatively high floor for the 18th round. So if we're looking at like Ray McLeod, about 100 points, right? 109 points. We look at Yoshi Voss, 101 points, right? Those are relatively high floors when we're talking about an 18th round, wide receiver. He's also only in his 3rd year, super young, catches a touchdown 1 in every 10 passes. And then there's a lot of injury contingency upside with Yoshi Voss. So that's my take and pushback with the Yoshi Voss click. So yeah, I like our team though. This is a fun team.
We didn't have to do too much to like manage the bye weeks or any of that kind of stuff. It all just fell in line. You see a lot of it is lit up and correlated, which is nice too, and there's also correlations which aren't lit up. So yeah, like this worked out really well.
Yeah, this is the type of a roster that could really make some noise. Again, like you said, it may not look like there's a lot of correlation, but there is, and it came very, very naturally. So like we're just saying that Lamar Jackson is the guy. And then we do have bringbacks, Trevion Henderson and Marshawn Lloyd, but it's all the other like mini stacks that we have in here that are going unnoticed and unappreciated. I think like Braylon Allen and Henderson in week 17, Ashton Genty, Neighbors in week 17.
The San Francisco stuff.
The San Francisco stuff. Exactly. Ray McLeod and Jalen McMillan in week 15. Right. There's all kinds of little mini correlation Mims with Lloyd in week 15. There's all kinds of correlation built in here. We already said that. Sorry. But again, there's all kinds of correlation built in here that we didn't force. We didn't push, we didn't have to do anything to kind of make it happen. It just fell into our laps. So.
And you were saying that you like that, like the hero running back. And this is like, I would say this is that, right?
Yeah,
Trevion
absolutely.
Is early enough to where I say you could say you have 2 running backs in the first 6 rounds, but I think that he's in his essence is still more of like a a zero RB style pick because he's going to hit later in the year and he's coming on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that makes the Eckler click even more powerful, in my opinion. Like Genty, we have to say that Genty's the guy, right? Like we have to that when we're drafting like this, and even if you're drafting Genty, regardless, when you're drafting him that early, you have to say in your lineup story that he's the guy, he's it, he's essentially similar to what you're getting out of Derrick Henry or HN, whatever, right? And then, yeah, that exists with Henderson, which is the risk that we built in. But then as long as Eckler helps us get there with Henderson and even Samson to a degree, then, we're in good shape. So I really like this texture of team. I'm really happy with it. Well done. I think we got a shot at $2 million here.
I like it.
So it'll be a heck of a lot more for me than it would be for you. So
yes, absolutely.
I don't get taxed on it, and I get the sweet conversion. So if we win, I'll win a heck of a lot more than you, but I'm sure we'll both be happy on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not complain.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. I appreciate you coming on, Billy. This was good. I've been meaning to have you on for a little while, actually. So I'm glad you reached out in the group chat there. Anything for the people going on? I meant to ask you, by the way, how far along is your wife? Your wife's pregnant, correct?
Yeah, we're due at the end of September, so it'll be a nice little my wife would not want to hear this. It'll be nice to be off work in the middle of football season.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
We're like, I think we're within a week basically. Cause yeah, I'm early October 3rd for me. So I think,
nice.
yeah, we're about within a week. So there's an outside chance or they could be born on the same day.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Our house is kind of a disaster right now because we had a bunch of work done.
Hear you.
We had a bunch of work done before that so that we could get ready, and now we're kind of getting it all together. But in general, things are good. Like from a content perspective, I had my vacation during the summer, and now I'm ready to turn back towards it. From drafting, I really do like to. I'm not gonna put I think BBM is still very much a lottery for me. So I don't like going to max it. I'm gonna have 20 very good bullets and then draft all of the other things that come around the summer. And so I'm excited for the last wave of tournaments that come out because I feel that's when there's a lot of value to be had. It's the tournaments that are filling quickly with people that may are not as in on how to draft teams. So I'm excited for this next push of drafts.
This is definitely the crunch time to kind of lock in and even out your exposures, get your guys, all that kind of stuff, and get your volume, whatever you got to do. It's basically lock in time before the season. We got about a month, basically. We have football. We have football in less than a week, guys. We've got the
Live
Hall of Fame
football.
game. Yeah. We've got football on Thursday. And I don't care if it's going to be a shit game. I'm going to probably watch every minute of that game.
Who's playing in that game?
Chargers, Lions.
Chargers, Lions. Okay, interesting. I don't think we wouldn't see anyone relevant. No way, right?
No, we won't see anybody.
No way.
But I'm going to watch every minute of that game. I don't care. It's live. It's live football. I'm going to watch it. I don't care.
Absolutely.
It's live football. We're watching it, but
we're back.
We're back. We got a month. We got it's time to lock in. Like I said, get your drafts in. We're going to be streaming again, throughout the weekend. I may or may not be back Sunday night. I've got something tomorrow. Got to finish the baby room, like we were kind of chatting about there. I got to finish that, and we'll see. But maybe Sunday night, if not Monday for sure. Is when we'll be back. So we're streaming all summer. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We surpassed 600 subscribers finally, so that's great. We're on the road to 700 now. Billy, got anything else to plug? I got the link in the description for Billy Jones' Twitter. I highly recommend you go follow him over there. We got anything else going on?
Follow me on Twitter. I'm on pretty regularly with Pat at the Fantasy Dog Pound. And if you aren't already using bestballoverlay.com, go ahead and check that out.
Absolutely. Promo code OTS in the description as well. Didn't mention that. You saw it on the screen. Save yourself $10, 25% off. Head on over there. And like I would say, make a free account regardless, because there's a lot of free tools on there. So if you want to pay for it, great. You have my promo code. If not, I suggest you make a free account. Like I always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll always be right. Hopefully, or you'll never be right. When you're afraid to be wrong, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Got my own catchphrase wrong. Jeez. Hopefully we win $2 million. Appreciate you, Billy Jones, coming on. Have yourselves a great weekend.